Hey guys, so this is my submission for the challenge UI prototype for tracking Populator. I'm just gonna start with the requirements real fast and go through what I did with my submission. For this challenge we had to change existing app for requirements of the new travel app, which has been transformed into tracking project managers. Uh, so let's just go for the requirements. The first requirement is to keep the checkboxes but remove the feature that causes scope tablets to be auto-populated. So this is our submission. We left the checkboxes here. We can click on them, but the scope stays unpopulated like it was stated here. So let's go to the next tab. Here's the scope tab. We can see we added a peak add and a bulk add button. We also added the editing buttons, and the height of the row grows now. I'm gonna start with this requirement and go back to the first one really fast. So quick add button was just move from the bottom to the header, and we can add a new functional scope, for example. And that's it. The requirement was also that if we add another one, it has to be on the top, and if we click the cancel button, the row should be removed. So we can see that also here. The row is on top, it's removed. We can also edit and add some assumption, but we'll come to that later. Of course, we can add that. It works for all the other scopes. Just try this one. You can see I'm just gonna add a few here, so let's scroll down. Sorry, I just had to resize my browser to the recording size, and now we can see here a little clearer what we did. So that's it for the second requirement. Now we can return back to the first one. It's editing rows. The edit button edit all rows, and we can edit the assumption and everything else. We see we have, for example, functional scope component here. We edit the component. We can type very long component name here. It will be resized later when we confirm it. We can also change the size of the edit box so we can see our text clearer. For the assumptions, I did editing a little bit different because the comment was added later and I was already done with my submission. So I just used the alternative solution for the editing of assumption, and it goes like you can edit this assumption. Let's say this is assumption 1 and this is assumption 1, but you can add new assumptions. You can then edit and delete one, or just delete both, or just edit bunch of them, add bunch of them, sorry. And you have this for assumption. And let's see if we have something here. We see for the already existing JSON data, we get assumptions already here, and we can edit them or delete them or whatever. Okay, so let's clear this. So this is, I think that's all with the red row. Oh yeah, sorry. We can also, if we edit the row and we change something and we cancel it, the changes are reverted to the previous state. So that's that. Okay, so let's go to the add peak list, add bulk. We have for each scope we have different components, and we can add them. By different components names. So let's say we want to add contact management. we get contact management with some assumptions. We get the edit states for all the rows that we just added, like it was demanded here. We can also delete one row and leave just one, and that would be it. We can also edit it or whatever, and that would be that. We also added a functionality that if one value is already in from the JSON data and we want to add all other, this works. So we can see if we want to add contact management, only one is added because one already exists. That's also clear if we let's say that we delete everything. I added also another extra functionality, that's add all button, which add all components from the drop down menu, and you can just press add all. You can see you get everything from the JSON data for that scope, and you see if you confirm everything here, let's say we're happy with everything. If we want to add all again, nothing's added because everything is already inside of our scope. If we delete one and then let's press add all, we get that one that we were missing on the top, of course. So that's bulk add. Row height, it changes based on the content. Yes, that's correct. So let's delete this so this will be more visible. Let's edit this one, and if we have the lots of content here, we see that we get not the horizontal expansion but the vertical expansion of the row. We can also do that to the assumptions, and you also get we also get breaked line to the next line. We also can add multiple assumptions. Let's say that we have a lot of them. The row will just grow in height, and that's it. It can be used for many assumptions. So it expands vertically. A one-to-many assumption object that was already shown that we can edit, add, and delete assumptions. We can also, we can do everything with them. They have one-to-many relationship. It's also in the background in the object we hold these assumptions in different array lists. They're not saved in string, so they're actually array objects, so we can edit them and use them in other ways to send data. I left that so it can be used for further development, and it will be easier for, I don't know, connecting with the backend and stuff like that. I think that is mostly it. And quickly, if I go to the code just a little bit, I try to, like it said, to use less the better for the CSS. So I just did small fixes that I thought that were fixes, but they are easily revertible. For example, here in the old submission there were 2 rows and they looked really ugly, and they have some page breaking here on this scope, stuff like that. So I just added like few lines here at the end, and that's all I added in a CSS, but it can be easily deletable and return to the previous state if that's the wish. It also works for resizing. We can see still very nice, and it resizes. So that's that for the CSS. Everything else was changed in the controller. Everything is commented. I also changed few things from the previous submission, which I thought that weren't that good. For example, for entry removal, there were 4 if sentences, stuff like that, and I just made it one clean for loop instead of four loops and stuff like that. So I cleaned up the code a little bit. In the services, we just load the new data JSON, and also I deleted stuff that we didn't use. I also changed the records were named after old travel app. I changed them in like they should supposed to be for this project management app. I also use the same names like these that they are in JSON. I use the same, for example, change management and stuff like that types. I use the same stuff in all the JSON records For example, we have here, they are the same. For example, we can see that in basically everywhere where we use our table types, they are the same as the JSON file that was provided. So I think the code is pretty clean and it's documented where it's not, so I'm not gonna go into that anymore because this video is very long as it is. So I'm just gonna stop here and that's it.